Day at the Japan Open in the Ariake Coliseum, and welcome to Eurosport's coverage of what should be a cracking final between the two top seeds, the world number 1 Pete Sampras up against the world's number 9 Michael Chang. Rudy Berger from Germany is in the chair. I'm David Mercer, delighted to be with you once again here on Eurosport as our coverage of the men's ATP Tour and the hard court circuit in Japan continues. Here's Michael Chang, of course hugely popular in Asia and very successful. Since the beginning of last year, Michael has played 39 matches in Asia and has won 35 of them. And he also has, surprisingly enough, a comprehensive winning record against Pete Sampras. Indeed, they've played each other 8 times before, and Sampras here has only won twice. The last time they met was in the US Open when Sampras won in 4 sets, and his other victory came in 1991 in the Paris indoors. But all their other matches dating back to 1989 in the French Open, Chang has won, and he's won 5 of their 6 on a hard court. So it's Michael Chang to get us underway, 22 years of age, the same age as his opponent, who is in fact 6 months older. Wide. Well, although he lost the point, evidence there of Sampras' supreme confidence at the moment. Really going for his shots right from the start. Has won his last 20 matches. Incredible record for this year, 32 wins and just 2 defeats. Chang this year, 23 wins and 5 defeats. Chang looking for his 3rd title of 1994, Sampras for his 6th. And Sampras also the defending champion here at the Japan Open. Sampras beat Brad Gilbert in last year's final, which was best of 5 sets. This match now, the tournament has reverted to a best of 3-set final. So it's a good start from Chang. As you can hear, there's a lot of support amongst the crowd. The crowd have already seen Japanese success in the final of the women's event. It's one of the very few events where men and women play together. Kimiko Date has won the women's singles, beating the American Amy Frazier in the final in straight sets. The other women's tournament going on this week in the United States will feature a final between Arantxa Sanchez Vicario and Gabriela Sabatini. So one of those two bound to break their long-standing drought of titles. Arantxa hasn't won since Hamburg last year, and Gabby since Rome in 1992. And the other men's final this week in Barcelona will feature Carlos Costa, the winner in Estoril last week, and One which you may well have followed here on Eurosport. And he's up against Richard Krajicek, who's made a wonderful return to the tour after 5 months out with knee problems, beating Sergi Bruguera in the quarterfinals. Love 1, Sampras to serve. Take that, sir. Well, if the rest of this match is as good as that rally, this will be a cracker. Chang showing that certainly in terms of ground strokes he can match the world's number 1 in terms of both power and accuracy. My word, it didn't miss by much. It was all right for length, it was just a little wide. But the one thing we can be sure of, Michael Chang will never give up in any single point. He will run for everything. Of course, so good off either wing. Sampras, a player now with no obvious weaknesses at all. That's quick. It's well into the 120 mile an hour range. Fastest serves are over 200 k's there. One all, first set. This is tremendous stuff.
15-all.
Quite superb play from both men. Disappointing as we look behind Michael there that the stadium isn't all that full. Can hold 10,000. This is Michael's fourth final of the year. He won in Jakarta and Philadelphia, and was runner-up to Renzo Furlan, the Italian, in San Jose, California, and the quarterfinalist last week in Osaka. Pete, of course, has won in Sydney, in Melbourne, the Australian Open, at Indian Wells, Key Biscayne, and last week in Osaka. First double fault of the match, and it gives Sampras the first break point opportunity. Sampras keeping superb length on his ground strokes. Well, just a few unforced errors in that game from Chang, and it's opened the door for Sampras, who gets the first break of serve and leads by 2-1 in the first set. Watching the final of the Japan Open in the Ariake Coliseum in Tokyo. Pete Sampras then with the early break of serve and a 2-1 lead in the first set. Best of 3 set final.
15 love.
Second ace. As well as power, perfect accuracy right on the centre line. Well, not an ace because Chang could get a racket on it. But well, this is the view when a Sampras serve is thundering at you. Overrule from Rudy Berger. Michael Chang seeing if he can see a mark. Probably saying to Rudy, come on, give me a break out here. 4 first serves in, and none of them came back.
7-3-1.
Just a little ambitious.
15 low.
As a result, I think a string must have gone, tempting that winner off the smash. But there was one good lesson from Sampras in the middle of the rally. If you are in trouble and you've got a lob defensively, I'll send the ball into orbit. The longer it's up in the air, the more time you've got to get back into position.
Low. 30-15.
Second double fault from Chang, and this is unusual. Not noted for normally serving doubles, but he probably feels he's got to get his second serve very deep, otherwise Sampras is just going to blast it. A couple of years ago, Chang wouldn't have taken advantage of the mishit backhand from Sampras here and come in behind the ball. He's so much more confident now when moving forward, and he's a much better volleyer. Well, a couple of poor shots in that game from Sampras, and that's enabled the second seed to stop the run, much to the delight of brother and mother, Carl and Betty. 3-2 then is Sampras' lead in the first set, but of course he has the break of serve. Time for us to Pete Sampras in this first set of the final of the Japan Open. And there's his third ace. Not quite so quick. The fastest serve ever recorded, Mark Rosset, a few years ago on the centre court of Wimbledon. 134 miles an hour, that's 215k. And the Japanese obviously like the power. Fabulous. Brilliant return of a really good serve. And he lobbed so well in his semi-final victory over Boris Becker, which you may have seen with us on Eurosport on Saturday. That's sensational stuff. Sampras, of course, had about 3 goes at popping that one over the net.
Sampras.
Awesome power from Sampras, not just on...
Sampras leads 4-2.
And he maintains his advantage, that one break of serve. These two met in the final of the American Junior Championships, 18 and unders in Kalamazoo, some time ago. Chang won on that occasion.
15 love.
Well, it's not often you see Sampras really miss time a ball like that. It's a good approach, but he didn't quite get his footwork right. It's off balance. Yes, you give Sampras a short ball and you aren't going to see it. He's become machine-like in his proficiency of punishing his opponent's poor shots. And there we go again. Chang paying the penalty there for being out of position, having run round his own backhand. I think Sampras will be a little upset at missing that break point because he played himself back into the rally so superbly by getting great depth when he was on the defensive. And really had an opportunity there for the short ball. Not quite so ruthless on his backhand wing.
Advantage Chang.
No, just one.
First serve.
Yes, I don't think you can afford to go in on the Sampras forehand, not unless you really get the approach quite perfect. Watch this one again now. I see Chang elects to go to the forehand, but that approach was only just beyond the service line. Second break point. Well, again, had a glimmer of a chance. Smash from Chang, mishit. Lovely mover, graceful mover, Sampras. Not that tall a man for top-class tennis, 6'1". He's a lot taller than Chang at 5'8".
Advantage, Chang.
Deuce for the fourth time, and this by some margin now the longest game of the final. Chang a little unlucky there, obviously, with the ball just sitting up off the net cord, and again Sampras ruthless in putting it away.
Advantage, Sampras.
So for the third time, Sampras has a chance to secure the double break. Heard the little yep from Rudy Berger in the chair, confirming that he thought the call was right. Well, he certainly had his chances in this game. No protest from Sampras, which suggests Rudy Berger was correct. That's good.
Advantage Sampras.
So can he take advantage of this fourth break point? And it's battling defence indeed from Chang. Choose number 6.
Advantage Chang.
Chang's escaped in that game, that's for sure. 4 chances Sampras had. His lead is 4-3.
4-3.
Can Chang battle back and break back? So the question now, can Chang build on that escape he had in the last game? And will Sampras suffer a little mental letdown having missed the chances? He's now failed to convert on 5 of the 6 break points he's held in the match. Chang yet to have a break point. So 4-3, new balls in play. Sampras serving. First set.
Long. 4 kilo.
And the serve is in the groove for Sampras. It is desperately difficult, even if your reactions are as sharp as Chang.
That's it.
That's 4-8. Another love game.
Sampras leads 5-3.
And so far, Sampras has conceded a mere 3 points in 4 service games. 5-3 to the number 1 seed, so the number 2 seed has to serve to stay in this opening set. First ace from Chang. Sampras seemed to sort of freeze, thinking the ball was going to go wide. Not quite as fast though, is it? But if Chang could serve 4 successive aces against Sampras, that would be something. Well, that's a terrific game for Michael. Yes, Mum definitely enjoyed that one. Bessie Chang, of course Carl Chang, his brother, is also now his coach. Went through quite a succession of coaches at one stage, Michael. Brian Gottfried, Phil Dent, the Australian. His father, Joe, for a time when he was really getting started, but has been working with his brother now for a couple of years, and partnership clearly a very happy one, as indeed the same could be said with Pete Sampras and Tim Gullickson. Both men who seem very content with life. Personal life is good for both of them. Very happy. Michael, of course, a very committed Christian.
Time.
And he sees his role really in Asia and spreading the word of tennis as somewhat of a missionary one. Sampras at 5-4, serving for the set. And this gives Michael half a chance to counter-attack, and you're in trouble.
Love 15.
This first volley from Sampras, not really good enough. Certainly not deep enough. Notice how Michael is always moving forward to take the serve so that the body weight is going into the ball. And when Sampras is serving as well as he is today, that's 5 aces now. Yes, just long.
14-30.
So Chang saves the first of the 2 set points, and here's the second coming up.
Sampras 6-4.
Just snatched at the shot a little, and so it's Pete Sampras, by courtesy of the 1 break of serve, He claims the opening set. 6 games to 4. I think the fact that there was only the one break will encourage Chang a little. Slight difference in the way the two men strike the ball. Michael here with more topspin, coming up and over the ball. Pete hits it a bit flatter on the forehand wing. On the backhand, Sampras can hit either topspin or slice. There was the topspin, and now the slice. Thanks, Pete. Nice of you to demonstrate it. Brilliant.
15-30.
Watch how he swerves this one around Chang. What a side spin on it, hooking it around. He's done it again.
15-14.
Michael getting a taste of his own medicine, just as Pete did when Chang served those 3 successive aces. So this really is a moment of crisis. Sampras not faced a break point at all yet, and here he is with the chance to get the immediate break at the start of the second set. 2 chances indeed.
First game, second set.
The look of disappointment on Michael's face says it all. He knows he's in big trouble now. Sampras gets the break right at the start of the second set, and the number 1 seed looks pretty much in control. So Pete Sampras very much in the driving seat now, and it will require a superhuman effort for Chang to turn this match around. Won more than 2 points on any Sampras service game.
Love.
15-15.
15 all.
Not often does Pete come in behind a half-hearted approach, but whenever he has, he's been punished for it. Michael having a long hard look at it, but it certainly seemed to me to be wide. And just a little look at Rudy Berger, Rudy, one of the full-time officials employed on the tour. Ace number 6.
Sampras leads 2 love.
Another really high quality rally.
15 love.
I think Chang thought he'd got his man there, but Sampras is so good playing the hooked forehand on the run. Really berating himself, but I think really the barrage that he's had to endure during the first 55 minutes of this match beginning to take its toll, beginning to wear down Michael. As he overran the ball, Sampras thought he was going to take it on the volley, realised he was getting there a little late.
13-40.
Well, this really is an effective match point because you just can't see Michael Chang recovering from 2 breaks of serve down, even though Sampras' lead would only be 3-love. So devastating as has his serving been in this match so far. Yeah, well played, Chang. Then, of course, Michael is such a gutsy little fighter. More than compensates for his lack of inches. So many other qualities, and again, further evidence of just how much he's improved his volleying. Crisp, decisive. Back to deuce.
Advantage, Chang.
Well, the only part of his game that I think Pete will be dissatisfied with is the fact that he's had all these chances and failed to convert. 6 break points he's missed now. He's taken 2. Again, Chang has clung on when he needed to most.
Sampras leads 2-1.
And although he is a break of serve down in this second set, when it's just 1 break, you always feel Michael, with his counter-attacking skills, has a chance at least. But Sampras still leads by a set and a break of serve. We'll be back. Good afternoon in Tokyo. Michael Chang Supporters Club trying their level best to encourage the man in your picture. He trails by a set and 2 games to 1 in the final of the Japan Open Tour. The Asian hard court season moves on to Hong Kong next week. My colleague Chris Bowers will be covering the closing stages of that in just over a week's time. Here on Eurosport.
15 love.
And then the 4th and final week of the Asian leg is in Seoul, the capital of South Korea. Although that's a tournament which most of the top stars miss. And in fact, the week of Seoul will be on Eurosport covering the clay court tournament in Madrid. We pick up the build-up to the French Open. Saying, come on. He knew his return was too short. And as mentioning the French Open, of course, live extensive coverage of every day of Roland Garros. And if you're in the UK, you can only see the French Open on Eurosport for the first 11 days.
30-15.
First double fault of the match from Sampras. So now then, is this the glimmer of a chance that Chang has been looking for? I remind you that he's never won more than 2 points on any Sampras game so far, but here he is at 30 all. Well, there was a full fault, instantly overruled by Rudy Berger. Ace number 7. And Chang's reaction to the serve, the head going down, he knew it was good.
Sampras leads 3-1.
Of course, the huge question this year is whether Pete Sampras can win the French Open, which would really set him up for the Grand Slam. He would then hold all 4 Grand Slam titles at the same time, but I'm one of those old-fashioned people who say you only win the Grand Slam if you win all 4 in the same year. Glad to say that amongst people who think along the same lines is Steffi Graf, who, although she currently holds all 4 titles, does not consider she's won a second Grand Slam. She won the first, of course, in 1988, the Golden Grand Slam, and she also won the Olympic gold. Well, Sampras not the only man out there with a big forehand. Really unleashing on this one. Chang surprised by the amount of underspin slice that Sampras put on that ball. That's good serving. Nope, wide.
40-50. Just it.
Just a small misjudgment, that one, Michael. And he landed landed about a yard inside the baseline. Well, the slice back end of Sampras must have been on the very back edge of the baseline. Looked all the time as if it was going to float long. Taking a gamble on the drive volley. It's a very effective shot when it works, but a high risk one. Certainly not one I would recommend if you're just starting out in the game. Again, Chang is clinging on in there, not letting Sampras get away from him. But Sampras still has the break, and a 3-2 lead in the second set. Of the final of the Japan Open in the Ariake Coliseum, a magnificent stadium which has a retractable roof, as of course does Flinders Park, home of the Australian Open, where Pete Sampras was the winner back in January. Will he be the winner here today? 3-2 he leads in the second set, having won the first 6-4. So typical of Chang, that he'll run and run and run. It just got outguessed there. The obvious pass from Chang was down the line. Sampras stood in the opposite corner, and lo and behold, Chang hit the ball straight at him. This has been a very happy tournament for last year. He became world number one for the first time during the course of the Japan Open. He's held that then through till August, when he lost it for 3 weeks. He gained it by winning the US Open and has been number one ever since, and now has the biggest lead ever. An 8th ace.
Sampras leads 4-2.
From Pete, who currently leads Michael Stieck by 1,928 computer ranking points, and if he wins this final, will stretch that still further. As this year the IBM ATP Tour is awarding more points for finalists and winners of tournaments, I think quite rightly so, to reflect the achievement in reaching a final. 2-4 then, second set, Chang serving.
Love 15. Love 13.
And a couple of unforced errors, and Chang back in trouble, as his brother will know only too well. Now in big trouble. Sampras had a whole host of opportunities to get the double break in the first set, but surely he ought to be able to take one of these 3 break points. Fourth ace from Chang. He's never going to be a man to roll over and die. He'll battle away till the last, no matter how hopeless the position seemingly is. This time the net cord to help Chang, taking all the sting out of the Sampras shot. And who knows, Chang may yet escape once more. Eight out of 10 break points he's faced have been saved by Chang. But he can't save that one. It's plumb on the line. And Sampras will serve for the match at 5-2 in the second set. Chang taking a very long, hard look at the line. But there was no way that Freddie Berger was going to overrule in that circumstance on the far baseline. See whether the replay helps us at all. This is the forehand that Sampras almost invariably plays when he's really stretched. That looked plumb on the line to me. And he's really running from the backhand corner across to the forehand. He almost invariably hooks it around cross court. That tremendous follow through. Reminiscent of John Daly at golf, isn't it? Daly not having a particularly good Masters, or just crept in to the last 2 rounds.
Time.
Playing, I think, with my fellow Welshman Ian Woosnam in the final round today. Woosie, former Masters champion, not having too good a time. Neither their European hopes resting with Maria Olazábal going into the final round. One shot off the lead. Pete Sampras has become a more than useful golfer. Of the Americans, Jim Courier, Todd Martin, like to get out on the links. Now it's Sampras serving for the title.
Love 15.
Only the 10th point he's won against the serve in the entire match. Well, that's quite magnificent, because to play a controlled stop volley
15 over.
like that when you're really stretching Takes, well, quite frankly, genius. Superbly executed. I was a little disappointed by the call, although I have to say that I thought it was right. And Chang disappointed by the lack of a call on the second serve. And I have to say that I have more sympathy with Michael. Thought that might have been wide. Still having a long, hard look at it. And that's it. No voluble protest. Sampras 2 points away from his 6th title of the year. And the 9th ace brings him 2 championship points. Remarkable domination of Pete Sampras in the first third of 1984. He won 8 titles in the whole of last year, and now here he is set to win 6th by the middle of April. Yep. 10 aces from Sampras, a mere 10 points conceded on his serve, and Pete Sampras confirms that he is quite simply the outstanding player in the world today. Getting generous applause, even though the Asian crowd would have understandably have preferred a victory for the Asian American. But frankly, at the moment, Pete Sampras is head and shoulders ahead of everybody else in world tennis. And really the only question is whether he can win on his least favourite surface, clay. So there we are. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the Japan Open. As I was mentioning, we'll have coverage of the next Asian tournament, the Hong Kong Open, Salem Open Hong Kong, at the beginning of the week after next, and I'll be back with you the week after that for Madrid. So for now, from me, David Mercer, look after yourselves. Bye-bye.